Congressman Peter King has spent nearly 28 years serving the people of New York. His close bonds to his district deepened by the tragic losses that they suffered of 170 people in his area from 9/11. King spent endless hours with the families. He fought in Washington to secure the funding that he believed the survivors deserved. His deep ties to the first responders, firefighters, and law enforcement extended to his fierce fight to battle the scourge of MS-13 in New York. In Washington, he served as chairman of the Homeland Security Committee. But now he is getting ready to say goodbye to his work on the Hill. Fellow New Yorker Chuck Schumer called King a principled lawmaker who stood head and shoulders above everyone else. But squad member and freshman lawmaker Ilhan Omar feels differently. She wrote, Peter King is an Islamophobe who held McCarthyite hearings targeting American Muslims and said there are too many mosques in this country and blamed Eric Garner for his own death at the hands of the police. Good riddance, she writes. Joining now, Congressman Peter King, exclusively with us this evening. It's always great to have you with us, Congressman King. Thank you for being here. First of all, why'd you make this decision, sir?
Yeah, it was after 28 years of spending 4 days a week down in Washington. I loved every minute of it, don't get me wrong, but actually I'm very close to my family. In fact, I'm not a big vacation guy. Either go to Notre Dame football games or I spend the weekends with my grandchildren. Yeah. And my daughter just had to move to North Carolina, so they're down in North Carolina with my grandchildren. And I just thought after all these years, maybe it's time to spend more time with them. Again, it was great so long as they were nearby, but now to have to work out travel and everything, and maybe it sounds trivial, but to me that was sort of what put it over the top. But
I think it's nice that you like your family. I think that's a pretty good quality in a human being, and that you want to spend time with them. I want to play just a little snippet because what Ilhan Omar is referring to, at least in the beginning of that tweet, is the work that you did on the Homeland Security Committee, holding hearings to try to get your arms around radical Islamism in the United States of America. Obviously, a very serious topic. Here's a little bit of one of those hearings.
Right.
This hearing was attacked by everybody from CARE to Kim Kardashian to the New York Times as being such a dangerous moment that we're going to have here today.
I hope that my coming here today, that they can catch some of that which I did not understand at the time my son was being processed and radicalized. Hoping that some other child or some other parent can understand and save that child.
What was so important to you about those hearings and the topic as you described it? And what do you say to Representative Omar?
First of all, my concern was that political correctness was getting in the way of counterterrorism and solid law enforcement. When we went after the mafia, we went to the Italian-American community. When we went after the Westies, we went to the Irish-American community. The fact is that radical Islamist extremists were in the Muslim community. Maybe it's 1%, less than 1% of the population. But we had a situation where it was considered politically incorrect to carry out ordinary surveillance, and police all over the country were telling me they were not getting the cooperation from within the Muslim community that was needed. And so people talk about this being an anti-Muslim hearing. The key witnesses there testifying for me were two of them were Muslims and the other was an African-American whose son had converted to Islam and had been taken over to Somalia to fight for al-Shabaab. When he wanted to come home, he was killed, and then when he came home, he ended up killing American military. The other person, Mr. Behe, his son did go to Somalia, and he was killed over there. And when he was warned and threatened by people in his own community, in Congresswoman Omar's district, by the way, not to cooperate, not to talk to the FBI, not to talk to the police, and I wanted to give him an opportunity to come forward. So that's what this was about.
You know, you worked very hard, obviously, to defend the first responders from September 11th, to make sure that they got the funding that they need for their health. Do you worry that, who's going to carry that torch for you when you leave here? And do you see it translating perhaps into another office for you, governor perhaps, or something else?
No, as far as that, I'm now fairly confident that when the president signed the bill in the end of July of this year, that carries the Victims' Compensation Fund all the way through to 2090. So that was really the final hole that we had to close. That's been done. And getting back to Congresswoman Omar, like when she says, I said there was too many mosques, I never said that. I said there were too many mosques who were not cooperating with law enforcement. And it was in her district that a young man was seduced to go over to Somalia and was killed. And then the good Muslims in that community would warned not to cooperate with law enforcement.
What about the question of your district? Do you think your district will stay Republican, and were you at all concerned that you might not win in your district?
No, that was never a factor. In fact, the last polling I did just a few months ago, I was winning by 30 points. Now, I wouldn't have won by 30 points on Election Day, but my favorable numbers were the highest ever. We put me up against two possible contenders, the two who've been mentioned. I beat them by one by 30, the other one by 31 points. And I think the district can be held. It's right now become a swing district, and President Trump did carry it. President Obama carried it twice. Then President Trump carried it by 9 points. And it can be done. The Republicans did very well in those portions of my district in the last local election. Probably the only suburban area in the country where Republicans did that well. They took back seats that have been lost to the Democrats in recent years.
Just two quick things before I let you go. Michael Bloomberg worked very closely with you on the first responder issues. He's thinking of throwing his hat in the race. Would you be supportive of that?
No, listen, I am a friend of Mike Bloomberg. He's been very helpful to me, but I'm clearly supporting President Trump. I'm going to vote against his impeachment, and I'm going to support him for re-election. But you won't hear me saying anything negative about Mike Bloomberg, but I am definitely supporting President Trump.
All right. Well, I had a message from your friend Terry Hanratty, former quarterback at Notre Dame and NFL quarterback, two-time Super Bowl winner, quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers. He says that he hopes that this means that you're going to spend more time next fall attending Notre Dame football games with him.
That is true. Terry is a great friend, and he's All-American, a superstar, and a superhuman being, a great guy.
So that's why you're really leaving. You just want to spend more time at Notre Dame.
There you go. Anyway, Martha, thank you. Thank you for having me on. I really appreciate it.
Always a pleasure to see you, sir. Thank you very much.